know. What can I grow now? How do I grow big? Like Grow Big TV. Talking right here.
Hey, welcome to Grow Big TV.
Laughing out loud. But I'm still learning. You're on Grow Big TV. On Grow Big TV.
And here's Joe and Corky.
Hi, everyone. Any echo this time?
No echo.
Hi, Terry.
I'm so sorry about that. I've been playing with my computer, and it's probably my side for the last 2 days trying to set up this interview. And now it's all gone. All my setup is done. So you just got to stay with me a little bit today. So welcome Mary's Heirloom Seeds and Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, which is Heather. So thank you everyone for coming into the live. Share this out if you can. Mary, both of you ladies, think Corky can't make it. The reason why, well, there's been a big storm going across the entire nation. And as everybody knows, her electric's not that good. Power always goes out where she's at.
Yeah.
And 50, 60 mile an hour winds. She's done. She's out. And she was really looking forward to this interview because the first person Mary had an interview with or first person Corky, I'm not sure which way it was Mary and Corky. So it was pretty, it means a lot to Corky to be here today. So for her to not to be here, it's quite the storm. So, Mary, have you ever used artificial intelligence?
No. Actually, my mom just asked me about that the other day. She was talking about using AI for her emails. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it. I prefer to do it myself.
Now, what's interesting when you do, I use like Copilot, and it's very fun because, especially when I ask about people and see if their bio, see if it's actually on artificial intelligence. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I don't try it before. I want to see what they come out. I'm all about live. I want the live reactions, things you never heard of. Right. It's almost like the shock value. Thank you, everyone, for coming on in. I appreciate finding this live today. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we're going to ask artificial intelligence, make sure I have the sound down, about Mary for a second. Let's see what pops up. Okay, let's see if it works.
What are you searching?
Again, Joe. Let's get into it.
So can you give me the bio of Mary's Heirloom Seeds?
Mary's Heirloom Seeds is a small business focused on helping people become more sustainable and self-sufficient through heirloom open-pollinated seeds. Launched in May 2011 with just 20 seed varieties, the company has grown while maintaining a commitment to sustainable practices and community education. They handpack and label their own seeds, source from small family farmers, and avoid Monsanto-affiliated companies. They've participated in farmers markets and offer free gardening workshops. Anything else you'd like to know about this business?
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit more about Mary's Heirloom Seeds.
Mary's Heirloom Seeds offers over 1,000 varieties of heirloom, open-pollinated, non-GMO, and non-hybrid seeds. They're committed to sustainable practices, hand-packing their seed packages, and using recycled paper for packaging and labels. They're known for their commitment to sharing growing advice freely and include free seed packs with most orders. They've signed the Safe Seed Pledge and the Declaration of Seed Freedom, showing their dedication to ethical practices. Have specific questions in mind for your interview?
You know, Milk and Heritage. Milk and Heritage.
Welcome, Joe. What's new?
I'm just cracking myself up here. Can you give me the bio of Milk and Honey Heritage Farms on YouTube?
Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, run by Heather, shares insights into farming, gardening, and homesteading through their YouTube channel, which features diverse content from animal care to cooking and crafting. They aim to inspire and educate on sustainable living practices. You can check out their channel for more details on their journey.
Not bad, right?
That was pretty accurate as far as Mary's Heirloom Seeds goes.
Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
I like doing that because you just
Yeah.
don't know the reaction.
Very professional, and it hit like all the key points, right? That was kind of neat.
I had the Vineyard Chicks on. 3 girls I totally admire the whole family. Just amazing girls that are going to be great for the community for the next 60 years. Got to hit them when they're young. And the first time I did it, they were so off with names, but they had one name at each time, and it was just really funny. The girls really enjoyed it. So, Mary, what intrigued you to start Mary's Heirloom Seeds?
Okay, so I started learning more about food production. This had to have been back in 2008, maybe 2007. I became more interested in how our food was being processed and how our food was being grown. So I started getting more actively involved in the food that I ate. I've been growing food off and on since I was a kid. I've got grandparents that were growing food. My parents weren't big into growing food, but once I started learning about all of the junk, the processing, and the growing, I just really wanted to help more people grow. So I got into seeds, and like your AI said, I started with 20 seed varieties back in May of 2011, and we have grown to over 1,000 now. So really it was a passion for helping people take a better, healthier path on their food journey.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And how do you select a variety of seeds?
The first 20 were the most simple and the most basic. And off the top of my head, I can tell you it was not all of them, but it was Black Beauty zucchini, a very common one, crookneck squash, Cal Wonder bell pepper, Black Beauty eggplant, Ace 55 tomato, Cherokee purple tomato. I started with the basics. What are easy varieties to grow? What are common ones that I know about? And we've just expanded out from there. So when I look at seeds and I talk to some of our growers, I want something with a history. I want something that is old, that can be traced back. I'm not looking for something that someone created last year or a couple of years ago. I'm looking for something, for example, the Mariana's Peace tomato. I just shared that on my Facebook page today. That originated in what is now the Czech Republic back before World War II. So it has a history. It was named after a woman who escaped a Russian prison camp and brought the seeds to the U.S. when she got married and brought them with her after the war. So I love the history behind some of these seed varieties. It's pretty exciting.
That's neat.
So what challenges have you faced as a small business owner of the heirloom industry?
Tons. Not just from a business standpoint, but from a growing standpoint. We all have growing pains. I had to move. Well, I didn't have to, but moving and things like that was one thing. I kind of moved to California for a couple of years to help my dad out and brought my business with me. And then as the business expanded, I needed more space. So we moved to Texas back in 2021. I love it here. There's other things. We were talking about the postage earlier before we went live. When I started my business, since I started my business in 2011, shipping costs have doubled, but I still offer free shipping. So I offer free shipping on qualifying orders of $20 or more in the US. So that's a big chunk, that's a big hurdle to get over. And but it's something that I'm not going to change. I'm not going to stop offering free shipping just because it gets expensive, because I still want people to be able to afford good, healthy seeds.
So just want to say thank you for one of the best moderators on the internet right now on YouTube. Jane, thank you so much for
Definitely.
sharing all lives out and helping everybody out to make it so much easier for everybody. And welcome in for all our members. Appreciate you guys. You got Cosmic Cultivators. Let me see. Juan Perez is here. Serena Norell. Terry's here. So good to see everyone. It adds up. Justice for Sebastian Rogers. I tell you what, I need glasses on all the time now. It's terrible. The more time goes, I'm like, I think I know what I'm saying, but I'm not totally sure. Jennifer Ocean Homestead, welcome in. I got it's the Marshmallow Man. Isn't that a great name? It's the Marshmallow Man. Boom.
It makes me think of the commercial where you push the Pillsbury Dough guy and he goes, you know.
We got Barb Browley here and more coming in the chat right now. Thank everyone for being here. You got Jinja Ninja, Kathleen Moran. Thank you, everyone. Sorry if I missed somebody, but these things help if I had them on. I just don't like using them.
I know. I can't go out of the house without mine because I can't see very well without them. I can read just fine, but I definitely need my glasses to see. So,
if I have to go to the pharmacy and read a pill bottle, I can't read it. If I had to read a credit card, I can't read that either. Well, especially the back. I could do the front, but not the back. Times change. And I think a lot of it has to do with the vegetables and fruits we grow. Because if we go to the stores right now, for years and years, everybody, hey, I'm going to get something healthy. I'm going to go to the store, get some vegetables and fruits and hair. What's going on? I don't feel any different. But when you start growing your own heirloom vegetables, you feel a difference.
Yeah. The quality that you can grow at home, the soil quality makes a huge difference, because if you are growing vegetables in depleted soil, your vegetables can be or are mostly depleted of the nutrients. So the more you can build healthy soil, I just taught a group of master gardeners a couple weeks ago about building healthy soil. Because if your soil is depleted, you're not only are you not going to grow as healthy of a vegetable, but the nutrient content of that vegetable, it just isn't the same.
And your all diseases are most diseases are controlled with your microbiome, which starts in your stomach. So your microbiome all starts with your soil. So if you have the healthy soil, you have a healthier plant, and a healthier you, healthier earth. And the problem is we're growing hydroponically. What does that do to your microbiome? Nothing. So here I'm eating lettuce. This is so good. Look at it. It looks awesome. But it doesn't help you with your microbiome. And all this stuff kind of adds up to society today where nobody has any idea what's going on. Why are we unhealthy?
Right.
It's your microbiome.
Yeah.
Very important.
And we're going to have somebody talk about that on Grow Big TV in the near future, which is pretty cool. A couple college professors. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, that'll be neat.
Nice.
So I'm trying to look for conversations nobody has. So it's pretty hard when you have a great YouTube community.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know what, though? You can always talk about things that everybody's already talked about, because every conversation is going to be different, and everybody's, you might have a different combination of people that are discussing it, and they might have different insights for you. So I deal with the same thing. I go live every Thursday night, and you're like, well, what do you have to talk about when you've already been going live for 2 years or a year or however long? But you have new people coming into the discussion that maybe have a different insight to share with you. So,
Welcome in God's Desire for Me and Simply Jan Homestead. And there's What Life's here. Welcome in What Life. Awesome. So thank you guys for sharing this out. Our live is gradually rising there. We got 23 people. We got about 3 or 4 giveaways to give out today, which is pretty cool. Maybe some more. You never know.
Exciting. Ooh.
We're going to give a $57 seed combo pack away sometime during a live, and 2 or 3 salad combo packs, and we'll see what goes on the rest of the live. So I'm excited. Thank you so much, Mary, for giving that away.
Sure.
I really appreciate it. Now to find Mary, and thank you, Jane Doe, for posting link ups. Let me see. Let's go with this. This is Mary's Heirloom Seeds. Can you guys see that or no?
Hey, there I am.
Mary. So here's our YouTube, and this is Mary.
Bubbles.
That squash, by the way, is one of my favorites. If you haven't grown that, it is definitely a must grow in my garden. I will say I saw a reel the other day of someone saying that it was exactly like a regular zucchini, and it's not, but it's still really good.
Well, let's play a minute of this, and let's see what Mary has to say. So if you guys want to, well, you're here, go check out Mary's Heirloom's YouTube channel. I mean, her lives are amazing too, and some giveaways all the time and discounts and things. So let's see what Mary, and such great teaching ability Mary has. Okay, we'll talk about that very soon. Let's play this.
Heirloom seeds and check out this massive Tromboncino squash plant. I generally do not recommend that you grow something this beautiful and large on such a small trellis, but I planted this very late in the summertime, and I had this empty bed and it had a trellis, so I just went with it, planted some seeds, and figured if they grew, awesome. If they didn't, oh well. And it is beautiful. So if you don't know about Tromboncino squash, it can be harvested earlier, and it's eaten similar to a zucchini. It's also called zucchetta, so it goes by multiple names. But also you can harvest this beautiful squash later on in the season when it is more mature, and it is more like a butternut squash. The skin is a little more yellow, and it is eaten more like a butternut squash. It also stores better. Again, similar to a butternut squash. So I'm going to go ahead and reach in here, and I'm going to grab a couple of these. You can, like I said, you can harvest them small or you can harvest them large. Now I'm going to harvest a much larger one right now and a smaller one so you can see the difference. You ready? Here we go. So I'm going to have to reach into this trellis though, because it's on the other side. And then I've got some little teeny baby small ones, little teeny, like an inch long here, growing on the outside. So watch this. It's just real simple. You don't want to break the vine off. I should have grabbed some scissors, but I didn't.
I'm not always prepared when I do these.
Now we're stuck on the vine. Look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful Tromboncino squash. Usually they grow with a little hook and then they're very long. This can actually grow 2, maybe 3 times this length. Some of my customers have posted pictures of 3-foot long squash. It's just gorgeous. All right, so you ready to harvest a smaller one? I can't wait to make zucchini bread out of this.
The bird's ready.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that one. It's just a little baby one. It still has the bloom on the bottom. You can pull that off so it doesn't rot and damage your squash. How cute is that? Now, I generally would not harvest this small because I really want a big squash, but super, super easy. From seed to harvest, this is approximately 75 days, so not long at all. It is more disease resistant. It is squash vine borer resistant. Like I said, it is one of the few varieties that is a little more versatile. You can harvest it like a summer squash, you can harvest it like a winter squash, but probably most importantly is the pest resistance. This is a must grow in my garden every year. It grew in the height of the summertime here in East Texas. So if you haven't already...
Bye,
I
Mary.
hate, listen,
Bye,
I
Mary.
hate listening to myself in a video.
That was my next question. Doesn't it look really weird when people show you're live and you're listening to yourself? And
You're like, mhm.
I was telling my sister I cringe when I hear myself like editing videos and stuff. She's like, "Oh, it's fine," and I was like, "Yeah, but it just I don't know." I always laugh at myself. But
Me too.
Serena, I answered Serena's question in the video, so I don't even have to answer that. But that one was delicious.
So, if it's okay, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Mary, so you said that you recently did a class on the soil. Were you able to record that, or do you have a recording of what you talked about?
I did not, but I should. So usually what I do is I do the class and then I come back home and I film the video, but it's been nonstop. This year I said this is the year of yes. And it not that it backfired on me, but I had multiple master gardeners groups ask me to come teach and a nursery asked me to come teach. So it was like I said yes, and then I kept saying yes. So I did building healthy soil, and then I did seed starting and troubleshooting 2 weeks after that. And they're all different master gardeners groups that I've been doing this for. So I will have that on my channel very, very soon.
I'll look forward to that. That'll be really neat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Mary's also on Facebook.
I am.
So we're going to go to her link on Facebook.
So and Joe shared my live yesterday where I was super excited. I had this massive pallet of coconut core compressed bricks delivered yesterday. And I was like, I was literally just finished in my seed shop at 4. And then 4:15, I've got this big delivery here. And I was like, usually on a Friday, I already started work at 4 a.m. So 4:15, I'm tired. And
Yeah.
so now I got 2,300 pounds of coconut core that we had to move into the seed shop. And it's not like a warehouse where you have the roll-up doors. We had those removed. It's just a regular door frame. So we had to haul it all in with a dolly, and that was fun.
Muscles.
So this
I
is
started-
Mary.
Heavy. They're not too heavy.
Yeah, they're light at least, right? This is Mary's Heirloom Seeds on Facebook.
I think I just shared your live too. See?
Boom. I'll make sure I like that. And I'll share it for you too.
That's
Since
funny.
we had to change it.
And then you'll see I just mentioned the Mariana's piece. That's another thing I do every month is I do a seed giveaway because why not?
Yep. Like that. And so go check her out on Facebook. And that's what I was just going to say. I got a email, and this is what comes with the email. Well, maybe I don't want that one. Okay, let me get out of that.
That's cool.
Oh, look at that. New, something new.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there sooner or later. Maybe this is it. Nope, that's not it. Anyway, anytime there is a giveaway, you goes right to your message, not YouTube message, your regular message in your mail,
Yep.
which is really cool. So anytime something pops up, Mary sends a newsletter out, and all of a sudden, look, giveaway. I tell you what, that's the first thing I look for. I see giveaway, and like, okay, I'm right there. So make sure you sign up under Mary's page, and sign up for her giveaways. I mean, it's great stuff.
And those are always posted to my blog. You'll see it's on my regular website, but then it'll say Mary's blog, and that's just a running tally or running post of whether it's an article I wrote about growing something or whether it's announcement. I've got like the school garden donation program information posted there. And then every time I have a giveaway or a seed sale, it gets posted there as well. So if you don't see it in your email, you can always check there as well.
Good to know.
So
And
that
that's
was
also where you'll find all the new articles and things like that are available for growing.
So Serena reads lips a lot, so
Yes.
she doesn't see a lot of the questions. So Serena, we just answered that question under the page. So if you go back, she'll go back to that your question. She answers it right there during the video. You know, it's amazing how many health situations people have in our society right now. It's really crazy, especially with our kids. Oh wow, it's amazing how many situations with our kids which talk about the food. But when you see it with people that follow you, because a lot of people don't understand even autistic kids. They see somebody scream, "Hey, discipline that kid!" You know. I just hope we get a deeper understanding where it all starts from.
Well, and I feel like for me, I don't remember all the things, all the issues that we've had in the last like 10 or 15 years. I don't remember that when I was growing up. Like the allergies and all the things that people are having today, it was very slim to none.
So last week I'm all about learning, period. Anything ag, even if I disagree about it, I'm all about learning. And last week we had the purple tomato guy on. That's what I call him. He's the CEO of Norfolk Healthy Produce. And well, that's the owner of the purple tomato, a GMO tomato. The thing is, science is so important to listen to because it can help you in a lot of ways. But if you go, everything's great in moderation. But if you go above that, that's where it gets scary. And when you're talking about GMOs and everything like that, well, it's a great conversation we had last week on Grow Big TV, and we're going to have another conversations with him too in the coming weeks. So we go beyond what we talked about. I was waiting for Corky for that. Because Corky is so against GMOs, period. And so it's great to have that. It's a healthy conversation, and that's what we all want. Mary's seeds. You have everything is heirloom, right? In Mary's heirloom seeds, every single seed packet's heirloom.
Yep.
And that's what I totally believe in. So,
Right.
So make sure you guys check before we give a live our giveaway, which I hope I can find the wheel. You know, it's funny. Before I started this live, I haven't done a giveaway in 6 months or 4 months. I was like, how do I do a giveaway? What tools do I need? What is this? And I couldn't figure it out for a little while. Then all of a sudden I went to Wheel of Names. That's right, Wheel of Names, Wheel of Names. I'm like, oh, you can't do a Wheel of Names on here. It's not, you got to do a generator. So I'm trying to find a generator, and I'm like, I forgot how to do the generator. So later on, we're going to do a number generator. That was easy to find. No, but just type in number generator.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And so we're going to guess numbers. You know what? Let's do that right now because more people are still coming in. We're going to give away a salad combo pack. And we're going to give out 2 or 3 winners, and then we're going to move on with that.
Hi, Lynn. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Passion.
Welcome everybody that just came on. And so here's the number generator. It's 1 to 100. So you only have one guess. If there's 2 winners, then there's 2 winners. There's 3 winners, there's 3 winners. But it has to land exactly on a number. So what I want you guys to do is guess a number between 1 and 100. 1 and 100.
Mary, are you going to play? No, just kidding. You're like,
Only choose one number. One number. And we'll go back to that and do the best we can to find that number. So Ginger Ninja is the first one that says, she said 47, so that's what we're going to look up to.
You got all kinds of numbers coming through.
yeah. Pretty good variety. Hi, Kathleen.
So keep on guess a number, only one number, only one guess. Okay, you can't do 20 or 30. So, you know, I always say that during the lives. It's funny. And all of a sudden, before you guess what, at 25, and all of a sudden, within seconds, you got like thousands of numbers with the same one. You're like trying to find it, and you can't do it.
I know. I have some of Mary's seeds, and I need to look through them to see if I have the how do you say it?
Tromboncino.
Tromboncino. There we go.
If you don't have it, send me an email and I'll send you a seed pack. That way you can try it out too.
Yeah.
And Joe, you are talking about how Serena reads lips. For anyone that has questions, and whether you have a hearing issue or not, you can always send me an email. That it's on all of my website and YouTube videos and all that. So you can always send an email, and I actually respond to my emails.
Okay, so we're going to do the wheel right now. So, Jane, can you just put end right there? Just type in end so I know when we go in that we can't have anybody else that choose a number.
You have lots of kitties?
I do. I was going to go outside, so I had less distractions. We have 4 cats, all rescues. The one that keeps running back and forth, you can see her tail. She's one of 2 that we rescued at 10 days old when their mama died.
Oh.
And we bottle fed her and her brother every 4 hours. I don't have kids, so I never experienced the whole like nighttime feedings, and that was definitely an interesting experience for me.
So do you think that they're more bonded and more friendly because they were bottle fed?
They are more bonded. They're friendly, but we have other rescues in the house, and they are more like twins, how they have their own language and they like kind of push everybody out. They're very much bonded in that way. Not that they don't hang out with my other cats, but they're definitely like, it's them. They're like what my husband would call twins.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So welcome in. We got a lot of new people that just came on in during the chat. Not for Nothing Homestead, Tammy Harder, Lynn Crabb, Hunting with Stuff with J&J.
Oh, Terry says Mary is quick to respond to emails. Thank you. I try.
There's literature and more of Kathleen. Let me see. Tammy just came on in. Tammy Emmeling. Gear Gridden 19. I love Gear. Gear's great. You got to hear that guy, man, sing. Passion. Such passion. Marketplace Boutique. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so we're going to do the number. Let's see who's going to win the first time. We're going to come on back soon. We're going to give away $57 seed pack combo 2 later on during the live. So here's the number generator. We're going to share it out. 1 to 100. Let's see what pops up and see if we get a number.
I like the sound of it. I don't know why.
35.
I think I saw somebody that had
Okay, let's see if we can
30
find.
something.
Oh, there was a 36.
Oh.
So you gotta land on a number.
Oh.
Nope.
So
okay.
Now
no winner. We're gonna do it again. That's all. We got to do it again. So you guys guess the number. I'm going to ask Mary a question when we do this. You guys guess the number. You guys can start right now. It's right after SoundQuest. Rob, 1976 Rob at 12:43. You guys guess the number between 1 and 100. So Mary, can you share a success story from a customer who used your seeds?
Definitely. We have quite a few success stories, especially during 2020 when everybody was kind of so many people started growing, and you've got people that have never grown anything before, and now all of a sudden they're growing this amazing garden. I mentioned earlier that I didn't come from a family, like my mom and dad weren't big into growing food, but my mom recently bought a house about, I want to say a year and a half ago, 2 years ago actually. And she's not the gardener, she's not the green thumb, but she she specifically set out an area for raised beds and said, what do I do? And so I gave her what to fill her beds with. I helped her plant her seeds. I made her a little chart. And the amount of text messages I get from my mother of her harvests are amazing. And some people would get annoyed with like someone rapidly texting them all the time. But I get carrots and radishes and all of the different squash that she's harvesting and all the beans. And my mom is probably my biggest success story because she was always more like, I'll just get my food from the grocery store. And now she's one of those people that's posting on Facebook about all of her different harvests. So my mom is my biggest success story, honestly, because, you know, I want her to be able to have access to good, healthy food also. But so she's my success story. But there's a lot of customers out there, especially if you look at, say, like my reviews on my website, where they're like, I've never been able to grow carrots before, but we used the cardboard method and it worked. So that's a super success right there, because carrots are notoriously difficult to grow. I don't know about you guys, because I know you guys did the whole like massive carrot grow not too long ago.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna give it a try again with the number generator when we continue to talk to Mary. This keeps everybody involved with what goes on with the numbers. So
yeah, I did the cardboard thing with the carrots last fall, and I got an awesome fall crop of carrots.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way to start your carrots. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. $91.
Who was it? I don't know if we got one of those.
Yeah, it's high up. Nobody ever chooses the high or low numbers. You ever notice that? That means it's going to be time for another question. Okay, no one in there. You guys keep on guessing. This will make this fun. Guess between 1 and 100. You guys keep on going on. We'll keep on asking questions. What advice would you give a new gardener about starting with heirloom seeds?
I would say first and foremost, don't give up. And not just with heirloom seeds, just with growing in general. Anytime you start a brand new adventure, you're going to have some ups and downs. And I always see what some people call a failure. I see it as an opportunity to learn. So if your carrots didn't do well, what can you change to be more successful in carrots, for example? And so we chose the cardboard method, and I shared that with people, and they were successful. Another option would be to start with easy stuff and start with varieties that you know you'll like. For example, I'm the only one in my house that will eat butternut squash. So yes, I grow it, but I'm not going to grow a massive amount of butternut squash for eating if I'm the only one that eats it. So choose easier varieties and choose varieties that you'll actually eat. And probably actually, I'll say this, go for fun stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the squash.
Right.
That's fun. Or Peter Pepper for some.
Or watermelon radish. If you've never grown a watermelon radish, those things are kind of exciting too to grow and then eat as well.
How do you ensure your seeds are non-GMO and open pollinated?
Oh, great question. First of all, heirloom seeds by definition are non-GMO and non-hybrid. So as long as I know the history of the seed, I know that I'm going to be offering an heirloom seed that is open pollinated, non-GMO and non-hybrid. And then obviously research and discussing it with your growers. So you saw in the AI part of it, what I don't grow for seed, I source from small family farmers and seed growers. So I still grow my own seeds as well. But knowing the history and knowing the source of those seeds is super important. I would never make a mistake and go, oh, well, here's a hybrid, or I don't know the background of this seed, but I'm going to sell it to you anyway. I have a good working relationship with my growers and obviously with with myself because I grow the seeds too.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you have a video on how to make sure if you're wanting to seed save to continue that heirloom seed being that seed that it's originally supposed to be? Did I just make sense?
I understand what you're saying. I have a video on seed saving. It's a basic seed saving 101. And then I do discuss ways that you can keep from cross-pollinating.
Yes.
One thing is corn is notorious for being what I call a promiscuous plant. So for corn example, if you want to keep that corn pure, you want to make sure that you only grow one, because most people don't have 50 acres to grow multiple varieties of corn because you've got to have space in between. Or if you've got enough space, you can plant one variety in the front yard and one variety in the backyard. And then you have a barrier between them because they are wind pollinated. So that's one way of doing it.
Well, and also with corn can, like, depending upon how many days it takes until harvest, you can plant the one type of corn and then come back in a month later or whatever it is and plant the other corn.
Yep, staggering your planting. That was another thing I mentioned in the video was, for example, basil. You can actually plant multiple varieties of basil in the same bed and still collect seeds if you A, stagger your planting, and B, harvest the flowers off of everything but one, and then let the next one start to flower and then start removing flowers from all of them. So you can stagger your harvesting that way as well. And then you're not having to plant basil in 12 different places on your property.
Right. And that's where I think that it gets confusing is, how do I, keep these things pure without having to go, 100 feet or 100 yards or whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And peppers, you can isolate peppers. So you don't even necessarily have to plant only one pepper in an area. A lot of people will do isolation where you've got, whether it's a netting or something, to where you've got, this is the pepper plant that I'm going to harvest seeds from, or, put one in one bed, give it a barrier, and then plant one in another bed with other things around it. So there's plenty of ways that you can still grow your own and save your own seeds. I mean, obviously I sell seeds, but I want people to be able to save their seeds too.
Right. And you can also get bigger bags or smaller bags and you can put them over the blooms, right?
Yep.
Kind of like
full bags, exactly.
Yeah. That's good to know. Sorry, Joe.
Thank you for. Oh no, you're good. That's what I'm having here for. To ask Mary questions. Okay, here we go to number generator again. So let's see if we get a number again. Okay, here we go.
Will it be? Will it be?
Good way to keep people involved with that. I'll tell you that. 21. Let's see if we got a number 21. I know Simply Jan's not going to win because she never wins. Oh, 1247. Let me see.
That's funny.
So we got, I think we got a winner. Just let me see if it's that time period of this number, because that's, let me see. Yeah, that's a winner. That is a winner. Let me see if I have two.
Yay! Look at that. It's me. It's me. I won.
Congratulations. Email me at Jane's going to leave a link for my email, so it's easier just to write down, but you can email me at coachcos70@yahoo.com or gardenstategardener@yahoo.com.
Nice.
So,
Yay, that's awesome.
Yay.
Let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, and Mary does a really great job when she does ship the seeds. They're in nice labeled packages, and she does a little card, and she gives information and maybe a surprise sometimes. So
always I always include free seeds with my orders. Sorry, I got so many distractions. She's like going crazy. So in January is Plant for Pollinators Month at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. It's not necessarily when we are actually planting, but most of us gardeners were planting our gardens in January. And so I always encourage people to plan ahead and include pollinators in their gardens. So every January, I do a postcard of some flower that I've grown, and included in the postcard is information on that specific variety of flower. And then you get a free seed pack of that flower. So this year was calendula. Last year, I think, might have been last year was zinnias, my all-time favorite for pollinators. And then you get a printed sheet about how to grow certain pollinators and why we include pollinators in our garden. So January is always an exciting month for us because it's always the busier month anyway. And then we include extra seeds with your order. So
yeah,
I love giving out free seeds.
I like that you're encouraging pollinator friendly type plants and flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
What I like about Mary's packaging, this is from last year.
Yeah. Yep.
They're compostable.
Oh wow.
So it's like we're not zero waste at all. But we try to reduce our waste. So we don't do a paper catalog. It's all available on my website. I don't do you don't see the labels on there anymore. We used to do labels like 2019, I think, is when we stopped. And as of 2020, you can take that label or you can take that envelope and toss it in your compost bin, and it just feeds your soil for next year.
Mary, can you answer Serena's question? Because make sure she gets.
Yes. The tromboncino squash can get 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. I don't know exactly. It can grow 3 feet long or longer, and it does need support. It has to be supported. I would not recommend growing it on the ground. So it can grow up a trellis. The one in my video was 3 feet tall, but really 6 feet would be better.
And it does save space going vertical with plants if you can do that.
Yes.
You can fit more in a smaller space. Hi, G Mama.
Hey, G Mama. So good to see G Mama's been with me since the first day pretty much I went on YouTube.
Oh, very cool.
It's so good to see her. So Juliana, which is Jujujubi, sent me a picture. That's what I'm looking actually for right now when she grew one. She sent me a picture last year, so I'm trying to go through my pictures quick. And you got to see the size of this. If I could find it. That's the problem.
I know. My
phone messages, you don't know where you're going to find
it. My phone is full of garden pictures. I've had to upload them and then get rid of them from my phone.
Yeah, same with me. So many pictures.
Yeah.
And I'll take not just one a thing.
I'm trying to hear you. Sorry.
Well, I take multiples of one, like flower or something like that. Different. Yeah. Yeah. It's fun.
It's amazing when some people send you questions and they're reaching out to you. I find that special because I get questions from all over the world. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I got to look this up. Or I know the question. You're like, oh, I know this. Bam, bam, Yeah. And do you get questions like that from all over the world, like daily?
I do. A lot of times it's like, do you have this seed or can you get this seed? The last one was, I forget exactly the name of it, but from what I remembered, it was a hybrid. So I explained that, because it looked like a fun variety they wanted to grow. And so I looked it up, and because I had never heard of it. And I was like, no, that's an F1 hybrid. It's not one that I would sell. But I have this that's similar, and it's an heirloom variety. So I always try to give you an option. I mean, if you're looking for a hybrid, great. That's totally your call. But also, if you're looking to grow something similar and you're not really sure, I'll just share something different.
Now, if you had an F1 hybrid and you grew that seed again, and it came out what it's supposed to be, would the next generations be still good to grow?
Do you mean if the second generation was the same?
Yes.
Then the third generation should be the same. And that's the toss up with hybrids. Are usually that doesn't happen. Usually when you have an F1 hybrid, you've got two parent plants, and your second generation is usually one of the two, or a different kind of cross. I mean, it may not be exactly the same, but if it is exactly the same, then in theory it should be stable. But usually I'm not the hybrid person to ask, but I want to say it's like seven generations where you have a stabilized hybrid. Don't quote me on that one because I'm not 100% sure.
It's genetics.
That's what I was just on the next generation. Like, should it still, I know sometimes it doesn't. I just wanted to know the next, if it does grow true, is it going to be true?
Yeah, kind of like DNA. If you take like Skittles, a bowl of Skittles, you have all those colors, and you divide them in half for, like, say, twins. Well, one twin's going to have whatever colors were in that half, and the other twin, anyways, it gets mixed up and so on, and unless you have the same parent.
I tell you, I really wanted to show you this picture of that squash. And the only thing I see is me send funny pictures like that. You know?
That's awesome.
Because I'm kind of a funny guy. Now, growing with kids is very important, and teaching kids how to garden.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mary has done that. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm trying to get more into that. And it's interesting to see what's out there. I was asked to do a review on this book, Macy and the Magic Veggies.
How cute.
Which is really cool. Pictures. And it's all about the love, who teaches you about gardening if you are at home. It's either your parents or your grandparents. And usually the older you are, that's who's teaching you how to garden.
I have so many kids gardening and farming books. It's crazy.
And also what I found, I went to a convention.
Hi, Gail.
And hi, Gail. I thought this was really cool. This Mighty Mini Microbe Tale.
Oh, neat.
It's a coloring book, and it tells a story.
That's fun.
Cool.
And since life, everything about gardening and you're growing organic and stuff like that, it's about microbes, right? You want those microbes, mycorrhizal in the garden, right? And so you're telling a story with a coloring book for kids. And I think that's so important. I think this is so awesome to talk about microbes. And so my question is, Mary, is how do you teach kids how to garden? What's your first thing you talk about to kids?
So I generally start fairly simple because depending on the level of kids, I mean, I've done anywhere from preschoolers up to 7th grade. So my preschoolers, I keep it simple. I take a bunch of seeds. Oh, I like that one. That's cute.
Awesome.
Generally, when I do the little kids, I start with the big seeds. So I start with the beans. I use nasturtiums. I try and get their attention with something silly. Like nasturtium seeds look like brains. And so I tell them it looks like monkey brains. And everybody goes, ew, gross. But it gets their attention with something silly. And then we start talking about how to grow. Recently, I went back to visit family, and I had an opportunity to teach at a middle school. Middle schoolers are a little different. At least at this school, they're kind of like, whatever, I'm here because, I got out of my regular class to come see you.
Yeah.
Some of them were really excited, and they wanted to know questions about growing sunflowers and growing sugarcane and some of the really different varieties that he asked about. And some of them were like, do I have to touch the dirt? And so it's, it all depends on your where you're at in the kids that you're teaching. But I generally start with seeds, and I let them like get their hands on the seeds before we get started. And then when you get to the older grades, you're more talking about the science part of the seeds, how they grow and how they germinate and the requirements for germination. Kind of some of the same stuff I teach adults, the soil temperature, water, sun, just like we need nutrients, they need nutrients. So
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good because, like when kids get hands-on experience, they're more apt to want to try.
Yeah.
Like we used to do field trips. We had 5 acres that we rented with some horses, and we would do class field trips, and we would display on tables like all the things we used to take care of the horses, like what we fed them, the bowls, the everything, right? And
Yeah.
those kids, when they were real little, like elementary school, remembered it all the way through high school as like their funnest field trip, So
Yeah.
for sure.
So Serena usually she's a biochar member on our site, and she also tells a joke of the day. And just let you guys know, some packages will be sent out very soon because we're starting to get back into the game here. And so Serena expects something in the mail sometime soon, probably next week. So Serena, joke of the day. What is your favorite cat's favorite? What is the cat's favorite plant? Purslane. I never seen that before, so I had to show
Serena
you.
has some great ones, for sure. So Tamara said that they started the kids a little pizza garden.
Ooh, yeah.
That's super fun. I have a couple seed combo packs specifically like geared towards the fun stuff.
I might have to do that. She said she made a circle and they divided it like a pie and did areas for what you would put on a pizza. And I'm like,
that's pretty cool.
That's cool. How fun is that?
So you answered this question before, Mary, but who taught you how to garden? Who started you gardening? How did you find that first love? Like, what was your first plant you ever planted?
I don't really know what my first plant I ever planted, but I can give you a little bit of how I got started on my journey. So one of my grandmothers had a farm, like cows, pigs, sheep. She used to have sheep that she would shear the sheep, clean the wool, spin it, and she would actually make things out of it. She knitted my dad a sweater from a sheep that she sheared on her property. And so she had a garden there and we used to collect eggs there. So I got at a young age, I had that experience. And my other granny that I had more one-on-one time with, she had the best Roma tomatoes you've ever tasted. And it goes back to growing your own tomatoes. They really do have so much more flavor than the store-bought. And so I would go out into her garden and she'd talk to her plants and she'd walk through and pull off the this and that. And so we had a garden when I was a kid, but I've gotten significantly more into it now that I have, obviously now that I have a business doing it. But before I got into Mary's Heirloom Seeds, I really made it a priority to grow more. Lettuce was probably what I got started when I was a kid because it's easy. My mom said I didn't want to eat lettuce from the garden after I found a worm in my salad one time when I was a kid, though.
That's too funny. So compost. Now I'm very lucky because right next to my work, I get free compost.
Nice.
I don't have a truck though, so that's a problem. But I found a way to get 4 buckets loads of compost every day when I go to work to go to my garden, and it's tested. It's tested with everything, so you know exactly what you're getting in the compost. Even though I highly recommend your compost should be in your backyard,
right?
At least I know it's tested in quality. So Nala says, she doesn't compost. Is there a compost that you recommend?
There is not a brand that I recommend in particular. Only because I've used, sometimes it's regional. So if you go to your local garden center, sometimes you'll have a compost that is locally made. I know here where we are, there's a place, I'm in Ben Wheeler, Texas, which is a town of 400 to 440 people. That's it. And there's a town down from us called Edom, and they have a garden center. It's locally owned. I know the owners, and they have compost there at their place that you could purchase if you were a backyard gardener. Me personally, I have it delivered from a local place, and they deliver a literal dump truck full onto our property. So when I first got here, I had no compost because I was just getting started in a brand new garden. I called them, they delivered it. I had my soil tested at Texas A&M. It was very inexpensive to see what was in it and what wasn't in it and make sure there wasn't any contaminants. And so I've used them since, and it's been really good. I would suggest finding something local instead of like a big brand name, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree on that too. Gail wanted to mention that her phone crashed. She dropped it yesterday, so if anybody's trying to get a hold of her on her phone, it's not working. But you
So
can reach the email.
I started learning how to save seeds and growing a plant was marigolds. And I was told, because I always wanted to buy things. You're a kid, I want that, I want that. And my grandma had roses and marigolds on the bottom. And she goes, hey, you can save these seeds. You don't have to buy these seeds. You just, here's a marigold. This is how you grow it. And so I remember it was in the fall. It was starting to get a little cooler. And I started growing a marigold. I'm like, oh, look at that grow. And all of a sudden you see I get dead ones. Oh, this is how you get the seeds. She showed me that. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So my first thing I learned marigolds. And it's the easiest thing you can grow. And it's really cool when you peel them and say, oh, you get all these seeds from that little pod? Wow, that is so cool. So I like that. So if you're me, that's how I learned. And I thought it was great. It was a great experience for me. Welcome in, crew scene. And Gail Southern Living, welcome in.
So how long ago was it I started doing my own compost? It was before we got our farm. And I used to do a lot of walking. I had my own preschool childcare, and I just did lots of walking all around the neighborhoods and stuff like that. And right by me, there was a house that had a compost bin, one of those big black round ones, sitting out for free. And the lady was like outside, and I'm like, what is this? And she told me, and she's like, you can have it if you want. So I carried it home.
That's very cool.
Now I have yards and yards and yards of compost because we now have a farm and we have, the cows and stuff. It took a while to get my husband on board. I'm like, don't burn those little twigs. We're going to compost them. And he's like, wow, like in 2 months it was compost, so it's fun.
So can you share us any unique or rare heirloom varieties that are particularly special to you?
Yeah, of course. That's my specialty. So there's a couple in particular that I added this year and last year, over the years. The Arikara sunflower. Since we're on the subject of, you mentioned the marigold, something that's easy to grow. The Arikara is a really good one. It's a beautiful large sunflower, and it's a very old variety as well. So if you haven't already grown that, it's a really good one to do. There's some bean varieties that are some of my favorites that we've added recently or that we're growing in our gardens to add to our availability for next year. One of the long-standing varieties that I've carried is the Cherokee Trail of Tears bean. It has, again, a long history. If you don't know about the Cherokee Trail of Tears, it's a pretty heavy story, not a story of heavy history. So it's one that I know has a history, and that it's something that we can preserve and continue on for the ancestors that, that brought us those beans.
Yeah.
I have a bean in particular I'm growing this year from a customer of mine. He reached out to me, and I don't even have a name for it, but I'll give you the background. He said, my mama said she's the last one growing this bean for our family, and it's been passed down for 4 generations, and I don't grow, but she wants to give you the seeds so that you can grow and you can pass it on. It doesn't even have a name. They just gave me some characteristics of it, and it's been passed down in their family for 4 generations. So it's something that I will grow and I will offer for my customers once I have it established here. And I'll probably give it their name, just like the Mariana's Peace tomato that was given to them. They grew it out and they named it after Mariana or her name was Marianne, but they named it after her as well because that was their family. I like stuff like that.
How do you see the future of sustainable farming and heirloom seeds evolving?
How do I see the future of sustainable farming?
Yes.
I think there's more and more people that are becoming more interested in regenerative farming and not just the conventional till everything up, plant everything, and till it all up again when we're done. I think more and more people are getting into natural gardening. And I'm not just talking about organic gardening, but there are still some organic practices that aren't necessarily environmentally friendly when it comes to our pollinators. Tilling is still organic farming, but we're depleting the soil. There's earthworms and there's a whole world in our soil. So the more and more people get actively involved in that and stop just dumping something on it because they read about it on Facebook or the internet, kind of thing. And I know that sounds, I'm not trying to be snarky when I say that, but there's a lot of new gardeners that are learning maybe some not so positive ways to grow. And the more people educate them on, hey, instead of doing that, you can do this instead, and it will be more beneficial in the long run, I think we are headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
On some packages of food now, they post regenerated from a regenerative farm or something like that.
Right.
So, which is really, really cool. And if you guys can find that, get that. Please get that, because that's where your health comes from. That's exactly what you want. Exactly.
And some of our farmers that I work with will say, this was grown regeneratively, or they've given back. It's great to see all all that kind of stuff. It's important.
Oh, it's so important. I mean, I haven't seen it yet in the store in New Jersey. Every New Jersey's messed up.
I was just thinking, Mary, how cute would it be, even though that your schedule is probably so packed that you couldn't add anything else, you make like a little coloring book with the soil, like all the little information step by step.
I could probably do that. I have worked with a couple people that have created templates for me. I did my own garden journal recently, and most of those I created the templates myself. But sometimes I do work with people that will help me out, like, I don't know, like watermarking my images and things like that. I might be able to find somebody that can create a template for me too.
Yeah, I thought that would be cute, just like a little book that shows, what, I don't know, maybe like horrible soil, and then what you do to make a beautiful soil and all the things. I don't know, their layers. I don't know.
Sure.
Posting and stuff. I don't know.
So, Mary, if you ever have a chance, follow this channel. If you have a chance, it's a Vineyard Chicks. It's VC Family Homestead. They changed their name.
Okay.
How you'll like when you reach out and find a story for them when they're little to where they are now. They're also great. They're learning how to play music in the last 10 years.
Okay.
You see everything involved, and they're very special to me.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here, girls. I appreciate it. Um, how do you balance running a business with your passion for gardening and sustainability? How do you do that? I can't do it. I'm having problems.
So let me give you a little bit of a background of my current situation. I recently, as of last year, also became my father's, I wouldn't say guardian, but I'm his person now. I just say his person. He has Parkinson's disease and he can no longer do most daily activities alone. So he has 24-hour caregivers, and we made the change legally to have me be his person. So I manage caregivers, doctors, schedules, make sure he gets to his Parkinson's boxing and physical therapy from out of state. So I added that to my list of things to do on top of running a farm, because I don't just have a garden, I've got a massive growing operation on our acreage. And then we have a 1,600 square foot warehouse that we work in with the seeds. I have some excellent helpers, not a lot, but I've got two helpers in the seed shop. If I told you that I had everything perfect, I would be completely lying. Some days are better than others. Some days are easy, some days are not so easy. Like yesterday, it was 4:15 and I normally would be done working after a 12-hour shift. And I'm like, nope, these bricks got to go into the seed shop, whether I feel like I'm done or not. So I think the most important thing is that I have grace with myself. And some days if I don't feel like going out into the garden because I'm overwhelmed, I'll go out into the garden anyway because it makes me feel better. And so sometimes I just have to go, okay, I'm stressed. I got a lot on my plate. I got a lot of work to do, but I really need to just stop, listen to the birds, dig in the soil, plant a couple seeds, because I know for me, it makes me feel better, even if I'm like, I don't have time for that, because I try and make the time for it. Because if I don't, I'll go crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah,
Mary, Gary has a timing question. If you have a school class, church class, daycare, driver bus, okay, Gary's busy. Is it not too late to start some marigolds and chocolate milk containers for the kids to give away on Mother's Day?
It is not too late.
It's not.
It is not too late. And I'll tell you this, the very first school garden donation, well, I didn't even call it that before. My very first school garden volunteer opportunity was the first year of Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I brought marigolds actually, and we planted them in little teeny pods. And the teacher used that, one, as a science lesson, and two, as the Mother's Day gift that the kids could give their moms. They won't be blooming by Mother's Day, but they will have a plant to be able to give away. So absolutely, you're on that cusp, but you could definitely do it.
So Serena asked me the question. So Serena, that's what Garrett's doing. Mary, just to let you know, I lost my other job. I was doing medical billing for 29 years.
Wow.
And a company, the doctors, the hospital we were at, our main client, they decided to go in-house, the anesthesiologist there. So that kicked our business out. So I lost my job out of 29 years.
Wow.
So I got a job driving a bus. So I'm from a computer job to a school bus drive. And so what I'm doing is I'm giving they call me Farmer Joe. That's my name for the bus.
Very cool.
And I'm actually giving everybody cucumber seeds.
Okay.
That I drive and I'm giving away. So I don't have the time I need time to start my own garden. I don't have time to
Joe, can I send you some more seeds then for your kids?
Sure. Sounds good.
Oh,
Thank
cool.
I'll send you some more for your. So do you mind if I jump in and talk about the school garden program?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is something that somebody asked how I manage all these things, and this is just one extra thing on my plate of things to do. Is if I have the opportunity to volunteer locally, I do. I just did a 4-H seed planting with kids ranging from 4 to 14 last Saturday. And I currently donate seeds to over 150 organizations, school gardens, and it includes seed libraries, veterans gardens, elder care facilities, nonprofit community gardens. So if you have a school garden, if you are a teacher, if you are an educator, if you have a nonprofit community garden, all you have to do is reach out to me in an email. My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. The subject needs to be school garden donation program. That flags it so that I know I got to answer this email and I got to send out seeds right away. We don't sell old seeds. So I have an entire wall in my shop. I've gone live with you guys before, or actually I think it was a recorded video, and I have a wall of 2024 seeds, and all of those are going to go out to school gardens. I started shipping out in October of last year, and I'm still shipping out to school gardens. It's never too late. So if you've got a school garden and you need seeds for it, reach out. I will definitely send you seeds for it, because I know teachers don't make a ton of money, and there isn't a budget for school gardens. So I'm always happy to help.
Right. That's nice. That's really cool. I like that. You're making a huge impact.
It's what Mary's been doing that for years.
Yeah. Since 2011, since I started Mary's Heirloom Seeds, I have always donated and volunteered as often as I can.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's really cool.
That's one of the reasons why I follow Mary and my gardener, because they're very generous in so many ways. It's like I get hooked into that. It's the passion. I love people with passion. That's what Mary has.
Same here. Hi, Linda. Welcome in.
So here's a question. Oh, sorry. How about a good fertilizer suggestion?
Well, of course, I'm going to suggest one of the things that I use in my garden a lot, and that is Mountain Flower Root Boost. So it's something that's available at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. It is not a high NPK at all, but it has micronutrients and macronutrients. So it's got the mycorrhiza that you need, as well as the nitrogen and phosphorus and things like that. So it's not super high in anything, and I love it. So that is my base of all of my soil. Someone asked, I think, about soil mixture. Or they said that they were going to use my soil mixture. My soil mix is compost, coconut coir, perlite, and mountain flower root boost. That's simple and easy. I mix it all together, and I either put it in my raised beds or I put it in my containers. It's good for both. And it does really well for me. I will say that much. You can see my plants in the video you shared. They're pretty healthy.
See, well, people got to realize everything starts with when your roots grow. You need the mycorrhizal. You need your microbes. That's what grows a healthier plant, not your fertilizer.
Yep.
So fertilizer only goes so far before your soil is depleted.
So, and I call it a soil amendment, not a fertilizer, because you're amending your soil. And once you get that mycorrhiza going, you're building healthier soil so that you don't have to start dumping in all the chemical and synthetic fertilizers in it.
So Terry has a question. If you use horse manure, do you need to concern yourself with whether there's worms in their horses, I guess?
Yes, you do, actually. So I've got a couple videos on manure, because I have this thing about using different animal products in my garden. So when I had access to horse manure, the lady lived next door, and I knew the schedule for her horses. So it was something that I was aware of. One thing that is not something that people think about is when you look at how horses are treated, they are not treated like livestock as much as they are like pets. So if you have an outside dog or cat, oftentimes you are deworming them, same as you would a horse. So horses get dewormed more often than, say, a cow or a pig. And when they are eating hay, or their feed might be not infected, but if their feed has any sort of grazon or something like that, that's going to contaminate your soil. If they have been dewormed, that medication, there's a withdrawal period, and then you can start putting it back into your garden. So horse manure is one that I am always very careful with. You don't want to throw it in your garden if you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, I won't use that anymore.
You do horses, right?
Well, I don't have horses anymore.
Okay.
But, often people are like, oh, just go up to the stables and get, free loads of. No, because usually at stables or showing and stuff like that, they have to be more on top of making sure that they give vaccines and worming and a schedule. And sometimes the schedule's every 2 months.
Right.
So it's up to you.
So we're going to give our next giveaway. So the salad combo packs. So guess 1 to 50. Make it a little easier. 1 to 50. So Mary, what are some common myths or misconceptions about heirloom seeds that you like to dispel?
Ooh, that's a good one, actually. All right. So the first myth is going to be that if you plant peppers near your tomatoes, that you're going to have spicy tomatoes. It's not how it works. But it's actually a common thing. People ask me, well, I grew my Romas next to my cayennes, and these tomatoes were too hot. So that's the first one. And it's common because it goes around the internet and everybody sees it, and that's just not how it works. The second is going to be cross-pollination. If you grow a zucchini, like a green zucchini next to a pumpkin, and first generation looks odd shaped, it is not because they cross-pollinated. You are going, and even then there's, different things, like a watermelon is not going to cross-pollinate with a zucchini. They are different families. They will not cross-pollinate. So if you grew a watermelon next to your zucchini and it grew funny, it is nothing to do with the fact that it cross-pollinated. It could just be a water issue with your watermelon, for example. So cross-pollination, there's so many different variations on the myths as far as that goes that are always out there. I don't know about other ones. That if you grow heirlooms, that you're not going to get a good crop. Heirloom seeds have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. They are the original. They are why we have food and why why our ancestors had food. They've been passed down for generations. And my Cherokee purple tomatoes, or my, the beans that the family sent me, those have fed their family for hundreds of years. So the fact that someone would tell me that, they're not going to last or they're not going to grow as well is just kind of like, whatever. I'll just keep growing heirloom seeds. That's not going to stop me.
Never let it stop you.
Yeah.
It's those years that we stopped saving those seeds.
Yep.
I mean, there was a long time period where we don't save them. No, well, there goes. I mean, how many people saved their own seeds from years and years ago?
Yeah. When you have generations that stopped farming, or they were like, well, I'm just going to work and buy my food in the grocery store. I don't need to have a backyard garden anymore because I can just go to the grocery store. Well, okay, that's great. But your family has been passing those down. And so it's important for us to save it. Or, you get the hybrids, which I don't have anything against hybrids. I don't grow them. But if you have access to the hybrids and you stop growing the heirlooms, then, your family heirlooms die out.
So how far apart should different squash varieties be planted is a question in chat.
So there are different varieties of squash that won't cross-pollinate with each other. I won't even try right now off the top of my head because I'm a little tired today. We lost power also. We don't have a storm, but we lost power and it was off and on and sirens blaring and everything here. So there are certain varieties of squash that won't cross-pollinate. And then other times it's a distance thing, or it's a hand pollinating. So if you don't have a long distance, for some it's 500 feet, Sometimes it's 1,000 feet, depending on what varieties you're growing. And then also, like I mentioned before, if you have a situation where you have a small garden, you can start your summer squash first, and then you can start your winter squash, and you can hand pollinate your two so that you have less issues with cross pollination. And to be honest, unless you are trying to save pure seeds, cross pollination isn't as much of a big deal. I mean, I've had customers grow different types of zucchini, and then they save their seeds and they're excited to have a weird variety. But if you want to have pure seeds, either staggering your growing, using a barrier, or using distance. Just like I mentioned with the corn, you could plant 2 types of summer squash, one in the front yard and one in the backyard, and you're a little safer on that end.
Okay, so we're giveaway time. Let's see who's going to win. You guys can keep on talking. So I just want to get this out there. Remove voice. Okay, it's 1 to 50. Whoop.
So how do you make your seed starter soil?
I actually usually just use coconut coir for my seed starting, depending on what I'm growing. I like to direct sow, to be honest. I also have a really long growing season, so I don't have to worry about starting as much indoors.
True.
But I generally just use coconut coir because it's easy, and I don't have to worry about any pathogens because it's more sterile than some of the other stuff that you could get outside.
Right.
Okay, here's the spin.
Who's it gonna be?
It's all the combo packs. 47.
Who is it? Nobody?
Let's see.
I don't know.
Oh, I see a 45. I see a 48.
Ooh.
Could always just grab whoever's closest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are cool. I want to get those.
The soil blockers?
Yeah.
I've looked into that. I'm not sure. I would love to try something new.
Okay, guys, what we're going to do 2 winners there. We're just going to do what's closest, like Mary said. So Kathleen Moran, make sure you email me. She guessed 5.
Nice.
And Spartacus.
Oh, I recognize those names. Hey, Spartacus.
So
That's awesome.
So congratulations. You guys email me at gardenstategarden@yahoo.com. There it is right there, gardenstategardener@yahoo.com. Congratulations, 2 winners for the seed combo pack. Our last winner will be a $57 combo pack. We're going to discuss that in a little bit. Let me get this to the comments. What is in the combo pack, the $57 combo pack?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh. So the $57 combo pack is called A Few of My Favorite Things. It is literally a few of my favorite things. So we mentioned earlier, I have over 1,000 varieties of heirloom seeds. So how do you pick your favorites? And I do have some of my customers that ask sometimes, what's my favorite tomato? And I'm like, do I have to list one? Because I literally have 10 that I could rattle off right now. So my top 2 picks for beans are bush beans because I like them the most. Jade bush bean has been hands down the best producer, better than Blue Lake bush bean, which is probably the most common bush bean.
Yeah.
And the purple bean actually turns green when you cook it, but it's purple and it makes it easier to harvest because you can see that bright purple bean. The Hubbard blue squash, if you see the picture on my website, it's literally me holding this 16-pound
huge
squash. And
Yeah.
it looks, a lot of my customers tell me it looks like a frozen turkey that I'm holding until they look at it a little closer.
Yeah.
Hubbard blue squash can be used as a trap crop as well. So I've discussed that a couple times. Now, top picks for tomatoes: Cherokee purple, emerald green, and yellow pear. So those are my top picks. And really, I mean, it's hard for me to choose just one, but I chose a couple. Let's see. Flamingo pink Swiss chard, Cleansin spineless okra might be in there. Yep, it's in there. Benning's green tint. A lot of people like patty pan squash. So Benning's green tint is one that grows like a little saucer.
Yeah.
You can harvest it when it's small, like in the palm of your hand, or you can harvest it when it's longer or bigger.
What's the difference?
It's still a patty pan. The difference with the Benning's green tint is it's just a very light color of green. I carry a yellow, I carry a white, I carry a yellow with green and white, but the Benning's green tint is a really good one too. This this year I updated it and I added more seeds to the combo pack. And the extras were like zinnias I added, calendula I added. Let's see. Oh, purple basil.
Oh.
If you've never made purple basil tea, you definitely need to try it. It actually naturally dyes your tea like a pink purple color.
Oh, cool.
So that's just a handful of them. Do you want me to talk about all of them or just some of them?
I'm going. I like this talk.
There's a couple of the basics. I mentioned some of the simpler ones like Black Beauty eggplant. That one's just your regular standard Black Beauty eggplant like you would get in the store, but homegrown is always better. Parisian carrot. It's actually a round carrot. If you have more compact soil, growing something shorter is good. So the Parisian carrot's a good one. Chioggia beet. Either of you guys grown a Chioggia beet?
I got plenty of them. I never grew it though.
Oh, so if you slice it down the middle and you look at it, it looks like a peppermint candy, like a little bullseye. It's red and white on the inside.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different varieties on there. All of them you can buy by the single pack if you wanted to, but the seed combo packs are nice. For people that want to purchase something like that, you can use, there's a code, it's seed combo 25, and you can save 10% off all of my seed combo packs on my website.
That's cool.
Awesome. And thank you, Jane, for posting these links up during the whole entire live. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So how do you approach relationships with your suppliers and your partners?
Most of my suppliers I've had for a very long time. So that is one thing that I've developed a relationship with certain people that it's been really important. How do I? Sometimes they reach out to me and I get to know them before I get into business with them. Some of them I reach out to them because of, word of mouth or something like that. So it's important to have that relationship with someone and also build a trust with someone. A lot of people say, well, how do you know what you're getting is good? And it's because I've worked with them for so long and I trust them that I know what I'm getting a good seed. And then also I'm my own supplier also, and I trust myself most of the time. So
I hope so.
I know.
Right.
So we're going to give the $57 combo pack away right now, and we're almost done with this live, which is crazy. Because I didn't know how long Mary was going to be here today. I think I said 1 hour.
I'm going to have some coffee when I'm done. I'm going to enjoy some coffee when I'm done.
So let's go to the guess 1 to 50. Everybody guess 1 to 50, and let's pull out a winner. So 1 to 50. We'll just list one number. So, is there any new exciting projects or initiatives at Maris Heirloom Seeds?
So it's something that is on my list. It's my wish list. I'll say that. It's something that my husband and I have been talking about. It's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. But I would like to create a teaching garden, which would be it would have a facility where people could come. They could meet and gather just like I do at like a nursery, for example. I went to a local nursery and I taught a class there, and then everybody got to tour the nursery. I'd like to have an opportunity where I had a place that people could come, they could learn, and then we can tour the garden and discuss that. Because right now my facility is not open to the public. But I have been to multiple places where I taught at a Texas Permaculture Expo, and it was what they called an agro-tourism property. And so everybody, you know, filled out a form, made sure like this is a farm, and if you hurt yourself, it's your responsibility kind of thing. And I would love to have a teaching facility that people could get more hands-on and not just on YouTube channel, for example.
Yeah. That sounds cool. And do you think that you guys, like, depending on what's growing, harvest some things and maybe make a few, maybe lunch or something like that with those?
I could. I would actually rather just donate them than have the. I mean, unless I had like a chef or something. Here's the thing: I like to cook, but my cooking looks a little more just toss it on your plate and it's delicious. My husband loves the way it looks, but my sister is like the chef where she does everything like plated all nice. I would hire somebody to do that, because while I like to cook, it doesn't look as pretty as other people's food. But it tastes good. But ultimately, the food from my teaching garden, I would love to be able to donate to the community. We do have a very small like Meals on Wheels program here that I would like to be able to donate my excess produce to them if I had a teaching garden opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds exciting. I like that goal. You'll get there.
Yeah, we're working on it. baby steps.
Yeah, yep.
So for those in the chat, if somebody guessed 43, you still guess 43. They're just two winners. That's all that happens. That's the way we work things here. So if it's your number, it's your number. It's all good. All right. So
Yeah.
I don't mind having double, triple, figure it out. I always figure it out on my side how to deal with that.
So does your family get involved and help you out? Like maybe say, was it more helpful at the beginning or less helpful or more now? Or
My mom is my biggest cheerleader. She is always like liking and sharing and on my videos and telling people about me, which is, I think, is awesome. One of my sisters helps me with seed saving. She's has a completely different garden, a completely different area. One of my sisters, I have two sisters. One of them helps me with watermarking photos and making recipes. So if you see watermarked images on my website, my sister did that for me. So my family has been actively involved with what I do. I ran my dad's business for a couple of years off and on throughout. Actually, I worked there through high school even and back and forth. So we are definitely a family of busy people. So yeah, they're very involved. It's nice to have that support. Yeah. And when I go back home and I visit family, you know, my sister's always like, hey, I saved these seeds for you too. And she practices like I do. She grows what I call beyond organic as well. She practices safe seed saving practices as well. So yeah, we definitely have a working family.
That's really neat. That's good. You know, because it's hard to do bigger amounts of things all by yourself. Joe, you understand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
You need a couple Joes.
So Serena has a question. Before we go to the number, my garlic is getting yellow tops. Do I need to give it something? And if so, what?
I fertilize my garlic after the frost. I fertilize my garlic every 3 to 4 weeks because it is a heavy feeder. You don't want to give it too much nitrogen, but I use a compost tea. So if you have not fed it, give it compost tea. If the leaves are yellowing because the soil is dry, then it needs more water.
So, talking about compost tea, Matt Powers had an interview yesterday about how this guy uses on a farm compost tea. So, I listened to some of it, and the guy's so knowledgeable. And that brings me to say, Billy Van Curren's here. Billy, thank you for coming on in. I've been using LinkedIn a lot, and the connections I made on LinkedIn is unbelievable. Some of the top of the line professors out there are all linked. Everybody's kind of linked. So anyway, Billy Van Curren, thank you for coming on in. So let's do a quick number generator, 1 to 50. Let's see who's going to be the winner. This is going to be for the $57 seed combo pack. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share this, close, remove the choice. Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
You know what else you could use is worm tea. If you've never brewed worm castings tea, that's another great one as well.
What about onions? How often do you fertilize?
If your soil is good, you want to have more beneficial microbes in your soil than high fertilizer for bulbing things. I like to add azomite before I plant any kind of root crops because it's really good for root crops.
So I'm looking for number 7.
You get a winner?
I don't see number. Nope, no number 7s.
What?
Do you have anything close?
The only thing close was we have number 12. Number 12 is close. Number 11 is the closest.
Oh, there was 11. I see her.
Okay, so congratulations. We're just going to give it away because our time's coming. Time is we go another 3 hours, really. But
that's it. I'm out of here.
yeah, Mary's never going to see me again. Congratulations to Barb Brownlee. Please email me at gardenstategarden@yahoo.com. Congratulations, Barb. So let me see. One last question. Do you have a last question for Mary? Heather?
I don't.
Okay, let me see.
I can't wait until you get that soil video.
Oh, yes,
Excited
definitely.
about that.
I will load that up as soon as I can. I can't do it tomorrow, but I can probably do it Monday. I have all my notes and everything, and I talked about it. Talked about compost. I talked about manure as well. I have a thing about talking about manure. My friends
I think that the biggest struggle for people is, well, for me, like I was always too much in my head. When do I fertilize? How much do I fertilize? What thing needs what? But it's really the health of your soil. And once you can understand what goes into that, which is not difficult, really.
No. And honestly, it's time. It's something that I've said multiple times, probably every video, is it's a garden, not a microwave. So nothing happens instantly, except for like radish. That's the most like instant gratification type of vegetable to grow. But in my experience, it takes 3 years to build a good solid base of soil. And then from there, you're continuing to feed your soil, to build your soil. But yes, you'll have some successes initially, but it takes time to build all that up.
Right. To get all the little microbiology, microorganisms, and all the thingies going. Yeah.
Well, Mary, thank you so much for coming on today. And you're so helpful, so generous.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing woman.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I really go off because I wrote all my things on my phone. I got so many more questions I could ask. It's like And we kind of generally talked about that. And thank you for everything you do for the community.
You can always have me back on and keep that list, and we'll answer those questions too.
Yeah,
No, it's always time for another list.
You might have to have
Scratch
her back
those
on soil, talking about the soil stuff.
We can talk about soil. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, and I Heather, thank you so much for coming on the last
Thanks
second,
for the
20
invite.
minutes before the cast. I appreciate it. And
Yeah, I was
you
like,
guys
what?
should stay on.
Okay.
You guys should stay on for 1 second. And thank you everyone for coming to today's live stream.
Bye, everybody.
Look for great things on Garden State Gardener and Grow Big TV and every single week. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, 5:15 tomorrow, Garden State Gardener's new time. We have Justin Legg. Wait till you hear this man's story. He's a Navy SEAL, double lung transplant, leukemia. He somebody you really want to listen to. The guy,
Oh, wow.
amazing story on Garden State Gardener at 5:15 tomorrow. I'm so lucky to have him on our channel. Okay, take care, everyone, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.